Welcome back. This is episode 35 of the PKD Dietitian Podcast. There's a lot of terms and descriptions thrown out around food and dietary patterns these days. It seems that food is either clean or dirty, good or bad, and cheat days or even a cheat meal tend to be a pretty common practice from what I see. Have you noticed that it feels like a good versus evil situation here? Like there is a clear-cut hero, for example, clean, and a clear-cut villain, dirty. The terms and descriptions we use around food and that we tell ourselves matter. Perhaps some of you have set some New Year's goals or intentions related to diet and health. It's a perfect time then to talk about the concept of choose versus cheat when it comes to dietary decisions. And that is going to be the focus of this episode. We are going to do a check-in around mindset and food, around dietary changes and health, including my thoughts and experience around cheat days. Plus, I'm going to walk you through some guided questions that will help you explore your mindset around dietary choices and goals when it comes to PKD. These questions will help open your awareness in general, but also you can use them for a quick check-in in that moment when something is calling your name, saying, eat me, and perhaps that particular treat or meal doesn't align with your goals. Now, I know these are good questions because I work through them with my private clients, and there have been a lot of aha moments and food freedom found around dietary changes. With any kidney injury, which includes polycystic kidney disease, or if you have decreased kidney function, so a lower GFR, there are some dietary restrictions that are recommended to help support your kidney and your overall health. With any dietary restrictions, whatever they may be, you can have a feeling of missing out, or perhaps that you have to give up all your favorite foods and events and even eliminate your social life. Hear me when I say this. What matters most is consistency. Those positive habits and dietary changes you make on a day-to-day basis. Now, I don't really need to tell you this, but one of the things that sucks about PKD is that it is slow growing over a lifetime. Let's flip that around and apply it to dietary choices and changes. Because PKD and those kidney cysts are slow growing, you have the opportunity to make small changes in your diet and lifestyle that are positive, one at a time, to get really good at them to the point where you create a new norm, like intentionally sipping on 3 liters of water a day. You do that daily for several weeks, and guess what? That's your new norm. Those positive changes, no matter how big or how small, when they become consistent pattern in your life, they compound over the years for a beneficial and a long-term impact. Pretty powerful if you ask me. What matters most is your consistency day to day. The consistency of your changes in diet that have perks for PKD. One meal, one holiday, one vacation, that isn't going to set you back. That isn't going to hurt your kidneys. And it shouldn't unravel all the progress that you have made. That felt like a little bit of a pep talk, but it is super important for you to let that sink in. Pause this episode if you need to. Hit rewind and listen again. Whatever you need to do to process that small changes plus being consistent will be super impactful over your lifetime. Let's get back to our topic, choose versus cheat, when it comes to eating. The word cheat itself implies that you are being bad, and it can come with all kinds of anxiety, even feelings of guilt, and second guessing. This is not a positive place to be. So let's bring some awareness to the way you are thinking about food and about your dietary changes for PKD health. I have found during my years of working with the PKD community that using the mindset of cheat days or cheat meals has repercussions. Clients I work with who come to me using the word cheat often express feelings of guilt and helplessness, and have said in the past when they had a cheat meal or anything around cheating, they often respond by over-restricting food afterwards. Guys, the goal isn't to punish your body or your kidneys. The goal is to nourish them both. Pay attention to how you are making decisions and what drew you to those decisions. Give yourself room for grace to be human, grace to enjoy celebration, and grace to choose, not cheat. But how though? How do you start with this mindset shift? Here are the next steps for you so you can take action towards mindful choosing. So first, you want to be clear on what is your why. Why have you changed your dietary habits and patterns? So be specific. This really is your goal. Now, the goal can be health related, it can be life related, it can be anything, but knowing your why helps you in those moments that can feel rougher. And then the second step of what's important to you is to identify what you have been working on or have implemented. Ask yourself, and be very clear on this too, what changes have you made or are in the process of making? And be specific so that you know exactly what you're working on. It's 100% okay and even good to give yourself props here too, because diet and lifestyle changes are hard. So first, you want to know what is your why. And second, you want to give props and identify what you've been working on or in the process of working on. Some good questions to ask yourself when it comes to making a choice is, number one, does this support my health goals? Number two, is it important to me? Now, you might be really surprised that when it comes to food, when you ask yourself, do I really like this? Is it super important to me? A lot of times you might be saying no. Based on your answers, you can also say, what is the best option for me? So those are three really good questions to ask yourself. Let me give you an example here. One of my clients, her goal, her why, is to slow the progression of PKD. I'm guessing that is 100% of your goals out there too. She also wants to lose some weight to better help manage her blood pressure and support slower progression. She wants to feel good in her body, be healthy, and know that she did everything she could. Those are some of her whys. When she knows her whys, she can say, are these situations or these foods or these choices supporting them? Over the past several months, she has been following a ketogenic lifestyle. She's been cleaning up crappy carbs and working very hard to cook more at home. So this is what she's been working on and implementing. She knows the foods and patterns that serve her whys, her goals. She knows the changes that she has made, and she knows all of her macro parameters. I'm going to call her JJ. JJ has been working on all of this through the past holiday season. And I want to give her props. Props to you, JJ. You know who you are. She had some holiday parties to go to. We walked through these questions to see what her choices were to give her the power to choose. So she knows her why, and she knows what she's been working on. We started with, is it important to you when you went to the holiday party to partake in all the different foods? Her answer was, you know what? Not really. These foods aren't my favorite. It's not important to me. Then we asked, does the food there and some of the choices support your health goals? And the answer was no. And then we went to, what is the best option for me? The feedback was, she went, she wasn't stressed, she felt good. Walking through this mindset and these questions gave her the choice to say, not so important to me. And what is the best option for me? We're not going to say cheat. We're going to say choose. And guess what? She chose not to partake. I have found that in a situation like this, when you are in a situation, especially a social situation or anything where you're around food that doesn't support your health goals, a really good affirmation to say to yourself is, I am choosing not to eat this because it doesn't support my health goals. That is a really nice affirmation to say, and it gives you the space to choose and even say no thanks. You can even say, guess what? It's not even super important to me, so I'm not going to bother. Now, the second thing I want you to consider and get clear on, and this is going to sound familiar, is what's important to you. And of course, the first thing is, what is your why? And this is more looking at, is there a special occasion or something super important to you that involves food? Perhaps like a birthday party or a family tradition or a vacation or a really important treat. This could also be your why because it's special, it's important, and it means something to your experience as a human or your quality of life. And then second thing you want to look at is how. How do I pick? And the answer to that is pick what is important and meaningful to you and choose to celebrate, to partake, and to enjoy. But I don't want you to stop there. After you enjoy it, there's no guilt attached, there's nothing. Get right back to your consistent, healthy patterns in the next meal, or perhaps the next day. Have that plan to step right back into your perks for PKD and your positives. Now let's get back to JJ. There was a family tradition around food, goes way back in the family around the holidays. We talked about it. And guess what? When it came to that family tradition, like baking the family cookie recipes and having a fun dinner on Christmas Eve, her why was super important. This was a family tradition. She did it with her children. She chose to share this with her family, to make those cookies, to enjoy every minute, to create that memory with no guilt, no worry, and not a hint or a suggestion of a cheating mindset. And I just love that because she said it felt good, it felt special, and she got right back to her consistent everyday patterns afterwards. And the affirmation to do around that is, I am choosing to eat this because. For her, it was, I am choosing to eat this because it is very important to my kids, to my family, and to our memories. So you can see the power of knowing your why, acknowledging the work that you've put in, but also giving yourself the right to choose. It makes it so much more enjoyable when something is special or a treat or a tradition. But it also makes it so much easier to step right back into those healthy patterns that are supporting you in your PKD health. That's it for today, folks. I hope this episode resonated with you. If you could use some reframing around your mindset and diet, especially since we're in the new year with goals and intentions, it's really nice to start off with that ability to choose, to give yourself the space and the grace to choose. But also, use those questions and those affirmations. It will help you get into a choosing state of mind. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button wherever you listen to the PKD Dietitian Podcast. It'll make sure you get notified when there's a new episode out and you'll never miss an episode.